Hi everybody. So it's time again for Horrid Henry. And can you believe we are already on week number 5 and we are already on Horrid Henry part 5 and we are running out of Horrid Henry. What are we going to do when we finished Horrid Henry? What are we going to read? Sheesh, guys are going to have to start giving me suggestions on what we're going to read when Horrid Henry's finished. So, last week's Horrid Henry was really good. Do you remember? He made that gloop with um, Moody Margaret, and the gloop went all over the place. Remember, he made it, and it was flying all over the kitchen, and all over the ceiling, and all over the floor, and they made it with all those disgusting things. Do you remember that? Okay, so let's see what happens next. Horrid Henry and Moody Margaret carried the gloop to the table. Then they sat down and stared at the sloppy, slimy, sludgy, sticky, smelly, gooey, gluey, gummy, greasy, gloopy glop. Ugh! Right, said Henry. Who's going to eat some first? There was a very long pause. Henry looked up at Margaret. Margaret looked at Henry. Me, said Margaret. I'm not scared. She scooped up a large spoonful and stuffed it in her mouth. Then she swallowed. Her face went pink and purple and green. How does it taste? Said Henry. Good, said Margaret, trying not to choke. Have some more then, said Henry. Your turn first, said Margaret. Look at that picture. There's Henry giving Margaret some of that disgusting stuff. Ew. Henry sat for a moment and looked at the gloop. My mom doesn't like me to eat between meals, said Henry. Henry, hissed Moody Margaret. Henry took a tiny spoonful. More, said Margaret. Henry took a tiny bit more. The gloop wobbled on his spoon. It looked like... Henry did not want to think about what it looked like. He closed his eyes and brought the spoon up to his mouth. Yum, said Henry. But you didn't eat any of it, said Margaret. That's not fair. She scooped up some gloop and I dread to think what would have happened next if they had not been interrupted. Can I come out now? Called a small voice from outside. It's my turn to be Hook. Horrid Henry had forgotten all about Perfect Peter. Okay, shouted Henry. Peter came to the door. I'm hungry, he said. Come in, Peter, said Henry sweetly. Your dinner's on the table. And that's the end of the story. So Horrid Henry didn't even eat any of the gloop. He got away with it, and he made Perfect Peter eat the gloop and Moody Margaret eat the gloop. Crazy, crazy. Alright, so we're on chapter 4, and it's called Horrid Henry's Holiday. Horrid Henry hated holidays. Henry's idea of a super holiday was sitting on the sofa eating chips and watching TV. Oh, that's all we've been doing for the last 50 days. Unfortunately, his parents usually had other plans. Once they took him to see some castles, but there were no castles. There were only piles of stones and broken walls. Never again, said Henry. The next year, he had gone to a lot of museums. Never again, said Mom and Dad. Last year, they went to the seaside. The sun was so hot, Henry whined. The water was so cold, Henry whinged. The food was yucky, Henry grumbled. And the bed was lumpy, Henry moaned. Sheesh, I'd love to go on holiday right now, especially to the seaside. There he's moaning about everything. This year they decided to try something different. We're going camping in France, said Henry's parents. Hooray, said Henry. You're happy, Henry? Said Mom. Henry had never been happy about any holiday plans before. Oh, yes, said Henry finally. Finally, they were doing something good. Henry knew all about camping from Moody Margaret. Margaret had been camping with her family. They had stayed in a big tent with comfy beds, a fridge, a cooker, a loo, a shower, a heated swimming pool, a disco, and a great big giant TV with 57 channels. Oh, I don't know about that kind of camping. Oh boy, said horrid Henry. Bonjour, said perfect Peter. I don't know what camping he's thinking about, but that's not the kind of camping that anyone ever goes on. The great day arrived at last. Horrid Henry, perfect Peter, Mum and Dad boarded the ferry for France. Henry and Peter had never been on a boat before. Henry jumped on and off the seats. Peter did a lovely drawing. The boat went up and down and up and down. Henry ran back and forth between the aisles. Peter pasted stickers in his notebook. The boat went up and down and up and down. Henry sat on the revolving chair and spun around. Peter played with his puppets, and the boat went up and down and up and down. Then Henry and Peter ate a big, greasy lunch of sausage and chips. What do you think is going to happen to horrid Henry? I think he's going to get some seasick. Ugh. Have you ever been on a boat that just goes up and down and up and down? Makes you feel horrible. The boat went up and down and up and down. Whoop, and Henry began to feel queasy. Peter began to feel queasy. Henry's face turned green. Peter's face turned green. I think I'm going to be sick, said Henry, and threw up all over Mom. I think I'm going to be sick, and he threw up all over Dad. Oh no, said Mom. Never mind, said Dad. I just know this is going to be the best holiday ever. Finally, the boat arrived in France. After driving and driving and driving, they reached the campsite. It was even better than Henry's dreams. The tents were as big as houses. Henry heard the happy sounds of TVs, music playing, and children splashing and shrieking. The sun was shining. The sky was blue. Wow, this looks great, said Henry. But the car drove past. Stop, said Henry. You've gone too far. We're not staying in that awful place, said Dad. They drove on. Here's our campsite, said Dad. A real campsite. Henry stared at the bare, rocky ground under the cloudy, grey sky. There were 3 small tents flapping in the wind. There was a single tap. There were few trees. There was nothing else. It's wonderful, said Mom. It's wonderful, said Peter. But where's the TV? Said Henry. No TV here, thank goodness, said Mom. We've got books. But where's the beds? Said Henry. No beds here, thank goodness, said Dad. We've got sleeping bags. But where's the pool? Said Henry. No pool, said Dad. We'll swim in the river. That doesn't look like a very happy Henry. And we'll have to see what happens next week. Hope you enjoyed that.